So we're going to be talking a lot about social media and the impact, and we've got these amazing young ladies here to learn from, and we're so grateful for their just intelligence, their insight, perspective. And the first question we want to kick it off with, what is one practical way that a small business can immediately use social media to increase visibility without a large budget? So on a dime.
That's easy, honestly, because everyone has a phone, right? We all have a cell phone. Content is free. What you're doing on a daily basis is something that you can easily record. We do something where our rule is we record content every single day, right? So how many of you have a phone? Whatever you do, you can actually take out your phone and you can record that content. If you feel like it's overwhelming to post every day, just record content every day. Just start there. Then you can build a content glossary, so you first have things that you can post.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, and I completely agree. And I think a lot of the time, we often get in our heads. We feel like we have to create perfect content, pretty pictures. And the truth is, yes, that's still performing really well across social. But the number one thing is people want to see authenticity. So even if you just randomly pull out your phone and you were walking in here recording your whole experience here, people love to see that because they see more of the personal side of you, not just the business, because we don't want to just see the pretty things. We want to see how things can get ugly, scary, things like that, because that is what being a business owner is at the end of the day. But yeah, you do not need high quality, expensive equipment, like literally just your phone. And don't think about it too hard. Just like get out your phone, take a picture, and you never know how that can or how far that can take you.
All right, thank you.
So Tani took my answer, but there's plenty more, right? I love what you said as well, because it's not about having top tier content per se. And like Tani said, it's not like you have to post every day. I will encourage you to, I got into on-camera coaching some years ago, mainly because people are afraid to see and hear themselves, right? You might take a picture, but when it's time to do a video, people are like, oh, I'm not doing video. But when you do shoot this content, prepare as if you are a Hollywood actress. I'm from California, so I know I've been on sets. I know what it takes to go through hair and makeup, and we don't take that step as small businesses or organizations because we're not in the Hollywood films, right? But it's necessary. It gives you confidence. It makes you, I had to do it today just to be here on this panel because you want to put your best foot forward. So when you are shooting content, ladies, get your makeup together. If you don't wear it, that's cool. If you wear lashes, prepare, right? Only on certain days where you know you are shooting content that you really want to put out. Because one thing that's important is you want to represent your organization on the highest standard. So even if you are just taking batches of content, be very mindful of what you put out when you do post it, because you want it to reflect your organization and you at your best. So one thing I will encourage you to do if you don't already have a YouTube channel, who's on YouTube in here? Just a channel. Okay, step number one. YouTube is connected directly to Google, right? So you're going to rank in SEO if you have a channel, and if you put any content on there, people will put quickly content on Facebook, but YouTube is directly connected to SEO on a whole nother level. So make sure you at least get the YouTube channel going so that you have a place to put this content when you do get ready to post.
Oh, wow, that's good stuff. Thank you. Thank y'all. So, how can business leaders measure whether their social media efforts... Can't hear me? Can't hear me? There? Better? All right. I apologize. So how can business leaders measure whether their social media efforts are driving real results and not just likes, thumbs up, or thumbs down?
Got it. I actually pulled some stats that I want to share. So, well, first, just a little backstory. I built my business since about 2011. We actually started out on Facebook, and we actually have built that to over 200,000 followers across platforms. It did start out where a lot of that was organic, but then now it's pay to play. So it used to be where you could post things and they would show it to all of your followers. Now, since it's pay to play, they actually are actively withholding your content based on several factors, right? But I want to pull some stats to share. As of 2025, 65.7% of the global population are active on social media, with an average of 6.84 platform visits visited per user each month. Daily usage averages 2 hours and 21 minutes per user. 85% of consumers research new brands via social media, and 77% prefer shopping from brands that they follow. Moreover, 49% of consumers make at least one purchase per month due to influencer content. It's like we spend all this time on our products, but we spend all this time on our brand, and we want eyes. We want people to come into our store, but consumer behavior has changed. We have to go where consumer behavior is, and that's online. You're never going to get as many people at your location or following your brand as you would if you were on social media. Some of the things that we do to actively track, hey, are people watching this content? Are we getting conversions? There are apps like ManyChat where you can put certain keywords, and based on those keywords, you can search behind the scenes to see how many people purchased. You can look at the conversions on your website. So you definitely can follow the data, and there are definitely apps to do that.
Yes, thank you for bringing up data. So a lot of the time we don't really understand how to read the data, but thankfully there's a lot of AI now, ChatGPT, even Google. There's so many different keywords or even like dictionaries for marketing purposes to help you understand these key terms. So another thing is, yes, everybody is on social media now, fortunately and unfortunately, to sell. And for me, I was one of those people who solely, I relied heavily on social media until one day last year, my account ended up getting taken down. I built my page to 20,000 followers in Texas and throughout the US. And that is where I relied to bring in my clients, to get my bookings, things like that. And suddenly it was all gone. Even my personal, all my accounts got deleted. And so just after praying, God came through. I ended up finding somebody who worked at Facebook, got my account back. But that was a huge eye-opener because for the longest, I was only relying on social media. I was not doing any type of, I don't want to say ads, but more so like print marketing or print advertising, anything like that. So one thing I want to say is, yes, rely on, online, but think about all the people who are not on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, anything like that. It's important to get a website. It's important to grow your email newsletter. My newsletters is what practically saved my business during those 2 months, because that was the only way I could communicate with people. So grow your email. I feel like a lot of people sleep on that. But at the end of the day, your email is always going to be there. Social media may not. But yeah, pay to play. Now so a few weeks ago, I had 20.1 followers. Now I have 20.8. And it's because I've been investing in ads through Facebook. So yes, as much as we would love to do things organically, I think we all want to, it's just changing. We have to start investing in the things that we may seem are not in need. But I think as we head into 2026, a lot of things are going to start changing. And you always want to invest in ads as well.
Great.
So, when it comes to measuring results, there's so many different things that you can look at. Of course, it's never just about likes and follows unless you're like her over here and got 20K, right? So, but a lot of us aren't there. So, for me, I've seen a lot of success as far as measuring things behind being intentional on social media. And I say that because you don't want to post and ghost. Right? You don't want to just post and just make it about you. You have to really engage with other pages, other people. When I'm trying to work on a project and target a particular person, organization, or group, I'm going to LinkedIn. I hope everyone in here is on LinkedIn. Who's on LinkedIn? Yay, that's the hands we need to see. Okay, that's where we should be playing at as professionals. And LinkedIn is great for those reasons because you can search who you want to connect with. But we don't want to spam people either, you know? Just like if you're in this room right here, you have a certain level of etiquette when you meet people, when you introduce yourself. Social media is the same way. And a lot of times we don't take that approach. We will spam, we will try to add a friend, and then drop, hey, I'm working on this, I'm looking for sponsors, tickets on sale now, early, but you know, you don't want to do that. So measuring for me is also about how many people show up to a chamber event and I say, how did you hear about this? And I say, oh, I saw it on your LinkedIn. How did you hear about this? Oh, it was on Facebook. So then I'm saying, okay, certain social channels are working. So having those conversations and asking people, how did you find me? How did you connect to us? Is one way that you can definitely measure just in building a relationship with people. So I want to encourage that. And like what she said, you have to take those connections that you make on social media offline. Get them in your scheduler, get them on your calendar to meet, but you have to take that contact information from them. So if social media ever shuts down, you are still connected to the people that matter. And like she said, that newsletter is always a great piece if you are providing educational information and not spamming, of course. That's a whole nother subject, spamming.
Wow, we definitely can see how social media has such a multiplying effect for our businesses, our organizations. Ladies, I want to know, what are your top 2 tools? There's so many tools out there, and sometimes I think we get overwhelmed with all the different tools. What would you say are your top 2 tools, apps, or platforms that you recommend for streamlining social media content creation and scheduling?
Let's see, tools. I definitely would say, I don't really know if it's tools. I would say that part of our strategies, and I'll kind of think about the tools part. Part of our strategies is we prioritize our lives. We also prioritize reels. And we do this because we want to make sure that we're getting the most views possible. Now the algorithms, like if you go on YouTube, and if you want to know more about whatever platform, y'all, the tutorials are there, and they are free. There is no mystery, right? You can YouTube almost everything. If you want to know more about how to properly use any of the platforms, you can put that in YouTube and it'll come up. And the reason why I said we prioritize lives, and I forget the app now, y'all, my husband's a techie, I'm not the techie, but I forget the app that we use, but there's an app that you can use where you can go live across all platforms at one time. I would say that this is probably one of our most valuable tools, and if y'all message me afterwards, I'll get that information from my amazing husband and I'll give it to you. But I would probably say that's probably one of our most powerful tools, because imagine doing something one time and being able to broadcast live on all platforms. And the reason why I say lives are so important is because people don't realize that, say you post something just as a post, or say you post something in this way or that way in stories, it's going to be demoted. So you want to make sure that you understand how each platform is going to prioritize things, and you want to make sure that's what you're doing. So if you're going to be doing the activity anyway, right? If you're going to be working or whatever it is that you're going to do, if you're going to be doing it anyway, why not get the most viewers possible? Why not reach the most of your audience or your community that you can reach possible?
That's good info. For me, it's a little hard. I don't have like a specific favorite because I work with a lot of different softwares and things like that. But I think for me, I would have to say Meta, which is Facebook. You can schedule on there for free. You can do ads, you can post, you can connect with the community, you can create groups and things like that. But I do want to say new tools that I'm using would be TikTok, Threads, Facebook groups. For the longest, I was against TikTok. I hated it. I was like, all these little teenagers. But that has honestly been a huge blessing if you know how to use it. On TikTok, you do not need pretty content. You literally just post in the moment. And that somehow ends up getting way more views than a whole video that you paid $1,000 for. But for me, I would say those are my tools, and just learning the different trends nowadays. And it also depends on your demographic that you're hitting, right? Some email might work best for some, TikTok might work for me, but not for you. It just depends whatever works for you. And I think that's one thing to consider when trying different platforms and tools is not everything is gonna work. And if it doesn't work, that doesn't mean that your business is not great or you're not doing it enough. It just means that's not where your demographic is at. So it's all about trial and error. And for me, it's taken me years to figure out who's my demographic. And luckily with those type of apps, it tells you, women ages 20 to 50 are watching your content more. So it's just about educating yourself a little bit and learning how to read those analytics and figuring out what's best for you, because you also don't want to waste time on something.
So I'll just quickly add, I agree with the Meta is my go-to. I know there's some, as far as scheduling goes, because that was the question, right? Scheduling, best to help scheduling? Okay, streamline, okay. Yes, I love that Meta because the insights that you get behind that to really see how the content is working for you. Of course, ChatGPT is so great too to help streamline creating posts and probably laying out a whole month at a time if you'd like to do that. So at least you can use, those type of tools to help you come up with the language. I will encourage everyone to get on a premium level account with ChatGPT and these other platforms because you don't want to be sounding like everyone else. Talk to it, name it. Who's named their chat? A name? Yes, okay. So talk to her, talk to him. Tell him what your language style is so that you can come off authentic because that matters. It matters. If all of us in here talk the same and look the same, this will be very boring. And shout out to the Ruiz Co. because this setup is everything. I gotta say that to y'all. You set the standard high and we need this, so thank you.
All right, thank
I
you.
thought of a few of the tools that we
Absolutely.
use. I wanted to make sure, and y'all really send us a message, and I will send y'all a full list. But one that we use heavily is Klaviyo. It's just a platform where you can schedule your emails, you can schedule SMS messages. We use ManyChat often. ManyChat is where, and I know people are like, oh, I'm against bots. Well, we want to use tools to make our jobs better so that we're effective and we're consistent, right? So ManyChat is one of those that you can enable it behind the scenes to where if a person messages or says a keyword that you have prompted them to say, it'll automatically send them a message or whatever. So it's very easy to make sure that you're following up because it's wonderful to get this lovely engagement, but you can get all this engagement if you don't reply or if you don't keep that engagement going, what was the point? So ManyChat is a tool that we use for that one. And then, of course, we use Chatty. I call ChatGPT Chatty. We use that quite often. But I would say that my favorite, actually, I believe it's Google, it's Gemini. And I like it because you really can go on there and create your custom gems. Like you really can go on there and make it speak from your authentic voice. And I know it's a fine line. It's kind of scary, right? Like how much of that we want to give them access to, right? But I would say that is a tool we use. And then there's another one, I forget it, where I have a team overseas, and sometimes I'll need them to record video content or things like that on my behalf. So you actually can go in and clone your voice. I know it's a little cringy, but you can actually go in and clone your voice, and your team can create all kind of videos and things, and it sounds like you. I mean, it's one of those things, y'all, it's here. The best thing that we can do is leverage it. I always pray over our usage of AI that it remains kingdom, right? Because we have that power. We can say, Lord, I'm using this tool and I'm using it for your glory and for your honor, but like help me leverage it in a way that's still safe, right? So, yeah.
Can I add one more too? Video, our go-to. So part of my background, my husband and I, shout out to the husband-wife duo partners, run a marketing and media company. So video is our primary thing. But Opus Clips has saved our life. Mm-hmm. It's OPUS. Opus Clips allows you to throw this video content in there. It will take out the so you don't have to be taking 30 takes to record something because you keep stuttering over your words. It will take that stuttering out for you. It will clear up your tone so that you sound right. And it'll also give you the captions across the bottom if you wanted to speak, the captions as you speak. So it shows up in text on the screen. You could change the colors. It's a game changer. And literally you can throw in one 5-minute clip and it'll produce 5 1-minute videos for you if you wanted to do that. So that is a game changer for y'all.
And do you know that if you say you go live on Facebook, right? If you really build it from the platform, they actually give you the option after that live ends to go ahead and break your live up right then into Reels. So you have no excuse, right? No excuse. If you do use that platform, if it depends on how your page is set up, right? So you want to make sure your page is set up as a business page, and you can even set up your personal page to act as a business page. So in the platform, when you're doing that, when you're going live, the prompts will come up when the live ends, and it'll ask you, and take the time right then, because you're not going to go back to do it. You're going to do something else. So take the time, go ahead and allow it to break it up. You can tell them, yes, I like it, no, I don't. But it's built for social interaction. They want you on their platforms. So if you really use the platforms how they're intended, it will help you.
Good stuff. Yeah, I'm not a social media guy, so this is blowing my mind. But I'll admit, I was on Instagram for about 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. And I'm gonna tell you, because it's gonna fall over with this question. While I was on Instagram for 2 weeks, I was made aware of Tawny Apparels and Social Chica. I'm like, where are these places at in Cedar Hill? I've never seen them.
Oh,
right?
not the chamber, really?
Well, DeSoto Chamber, we go way back,
you can't
right?
miss me. You didn't know where I was?
And so I was able to locate, and I had no idea you were right next to my favorite restaurant. Sam's Pizza and Pasta, y'all. But again, so here's the question, because I believe awareness is part of growth and opportunities, right? So can you share a real example where social media created tangible growth or new opportunities for your business?
Yes, I have one recent. We are very active on social media, and I have support because, y'all, it's really worth it. Social media is that serious, for real. You should be extremely active on social media, and then you should have a team that comes from under you to help. That doesn't mean it has to be a lot of people, but it's important. Recently, I was contacted by one of the vice presidents of a major hospital chain in Arlington. They saw a post, they saw some of the work that I was doing, and they want me to come in and do an entire fashion show for their entire organization. Y'all, this is paid, not little money, but big money. Right?
Big money.
So this is going to be a paid event for Black History Month in February. And it's funny because he told me, he was like, well, I'm on social media all the time. And y'all, the vice president called me himself. And he was like, I didn't even know you were in Cedar Hill. And so you'll get amazing opportunities. But if you think about it, the amount of people that are around, those people are not going to walk through the doors of your establishment. They're just not. How are they going to reach you? They're going to reach you on social media. So leverage it.
Well, congrats. That's huge news. I'm excited for you. So with awareness, it's so hard, especially in the digital landscape, because our posts are getting buried, everything's oversaturated. But for me, an example would be, so as you guys know, running a business is hard. I don't know if y'all know that. But, and rent is not cheap. So there is a little time in my business, and still is that period is still here where rent was hard to make every month. And a lot of the time people look at entrepreneurs and they think, oh, you have a business, you have money, you're good. No, ma'am. We have our personal lives, we have our business expenses. It's a lot of money. And so one thing for me, I've always been a very prideful person. It's hard for me to ask for help. It's hard for me to be vulnerable. It's just, I don't know if it's the Latina in me or what. And all of, if you're Hispanic, how we were raised. So it's just hard to share emotions sometimes. And finally, I was like, I have to ask for help, because if I don't, we will not be here in 2 months, maybe even next week. And so I finally just got on social media, made a quick video. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to make a video. I don't even care how I look. And I'm just going to talk about the struggles that we're going through. Because, yes, you can see my Instagram, 20,000 followers, but that doesn't mean it's 20,000 clients. It doesn't even mean it's 10 clients. You never know. The optics may look great, but that doesn't mean everything else is. And so I just had to get on there and ask for help, share our mission, what we're about, where we're located. Like, hey guys, please help share our business. If you know any women entrepreneurs, creatives, things like that. And a lot of people shared it. A lot of people commented and asked how they can help, how they can support, tagging different people, and then bookings increased, clients increased, exposure increased. And even if you don't get a client, the number one thing that is important is exposure. Because somebody can walk by your door, but that doesn't mean they're gonna come in. And so it's just figuring out what your goals are when it comes to awareness, because a client can be a client, but they can also be a nightmare client. So it's like you have to figure out what you want and what you don't want and just go from there.
Ooh, I want to say so much to what you just said. That was good, yes. So awareness, right? Hashtags are one thing that I believe in using. When we post for the chamber, I'm always putting hashtag DeSoto Area Chamber. Having those custom hashtags that you can create for your business name, for your project name, whatever that keyword needs to be is so important, because sometimes a post may run across somebody's screen, but they may not go back to your page. But if that hashtag is clickable right there really quick, people do it all the time, and it will take them back. So, of course, for the chamber, if you click that link, it's going to show every single post that's related to the chamber. So utilizing hashtags is very important. I see it's underutilized a lot of the times. Google My Business, Google Profile, that is so underutilized. And if you have a physical storefront, that is going to help with your awareness, because anytime someone Googles your name, your business, or any of those type of keywords, if it's in your Google profile, you're going to show up. The SEO game used to be way different 10 years ago, right? Anybody used to pay for clicks just to get high on the Google pages? I know we didn't, because we were like, oof, we just can't afford that right now, right? We weren't those big companies. I'm speaking from my marketing and media company. But another thing that is important too is utilizing the groups. Find the groups that matter. A lot of people talk. They may walk past your door and not come in, but all it takes is for me to bump into Jason and he mentions something that I'm like, oh yeah, I saw something like that. And he's gonna say, oh yeah, that's my girl, that's my people, you need to go over there. And then it's like, oh, okay, then I'll go check her out, But it could be that very small glimpse of awareness that you may think doesn't matter, but it does when you finally connect with someone and they have a history with them. The other thing was, you had mentioned, it escapes me, I'm sorry guys. It'll come back to me. I'm not gonna hold you, because I see that time is ticking up there. Go ahead.
Okay, when it comes back, we'll be ready. With all of the excitement to just get our word out there, our brand out there, our organization out there, what would you tell small business or business owners would be your top must-do and must avoid when it comes to social media? What would those words of wisdom be?
I would say practice your presence. Work on your presence. Do videos in the mirror. Pretend. I know going live and being online and getting used to your voice, getting used to your image, a lot of people have a hard time with that. I have one of the businesses that I'm mentoring right now, and she is amazing, has an amazing company, but she's afraid to go in front of the camera. And so when you delve into those questions, where is that fear coming from? Why are you afraid? It usually comes from confidence, right? A lack of confidence, things that maybe you need to let fall off of you. But a lot of it is overcome with practicing, getting comfortable, the more you do it. So I would say the number one thing is to get used to it. And even if, say you do a live or say you do a video and it's not successful, say you post content and it doesn't get a lot of engagement and you get discouraged, do it again. Do it again. Keep doing it. Keep trying it. And then the number one rule is to entertain. So whatever it is that you're delivering, it can't be boring. Entertain. I know, like my friend Rosemary and Abdiel, they are a wealth of knowledge. So just imagine if they were to go live or to post a video series where, yep, I was gonna come for you. Say if they were to post a video series where they just sit there and they just tell you some quick tips, some quick things you need to know about your business. Imagine the people that would find that valuable. But the way that they deliver it, them being comfortable in front of the camera, that's going to matter. Sometimes people will look at a video or look at some content, and even if it's good stuff that they need, if it's dry, if it's boring, if it's bad lighting, if the person isn't sure what they're saying, it's not really delivered in a way that's going to be impactful. So I would say work on your presence, being comfortable, getting in front of the mirror and just talking to yourself. And at the end of the day, there is no standard. There is no standard. You're you, right? Who else is you? Who else has the knowledge that you have? So just build your confidence from your skill set, the knowledge that you have, the gift that God gave you, the mandate that's on your life, right? So it's like we honestly have an obligation. We have an obligation to share the knowledge that we have. If your goal is to build community, if your goal is to empower, to teach more people about your field, you have an obligation to do it, right? So just practice it.
Love it.
Love that.
Yes.
I'm just gonna share two things. So I'm pretty sure everybody here is an entrepreneur. If you are, raise your hand. If you're not, it's okay.
All right, entrepreneurs.
So the one thing is confidence. A lot of us lack confidence, especially when it's being in front of a camera. But you have to remember, if you started your business, it's because of what? You believed in yourself. You knew you can do it, and so when it comes to content, we need to see that. We need to see that you believe in yourself, that you know what you're talking about, you want to show up as a thought leader. I think a lot of the times, business owners do get on social media. They post a post, they don't even know what they're posting, and they're sleeping on a lot of information that we need to know. If you are in a field or an industry, you're there for a reason, and we need to know why, we need to know your experience. And one thing I always tell my clients is don't sell, but tell. So when you incorporate storytelling, kind of like what we're doing here and talking about different experiences, you connect better with people. If I'm just sitting up here trying to sell you my services, you're gonna be like, please get off the stage, we don't care. But if you give experiences and how you can better that person's lives, whether it's insurance, a lawyer, a doctor, anything like that, we need to know how you can help us, what that looks like. And the last thing is emotion. Always use emotion. Because again, if you're just selling just to try to get quick money or make a quick client, it's not gonna go long. You have to create a lasting relationship and impact and make that person feel like, okay, dang, I really do need your services because I need to get my finances together or my social media together. So always incorporate emotion and storytelling. We wanna know how you started. We wanna know how you got here. We wanna know what it took to start or open your business and even maintain it, so.
It's tough going last because y'all keep saying everything I'm going to say. So I remember what I was going to say earlier, and it is storytelling. So my background is video, right? I'm a videographer. I edit and I do all these things. And it made me dive in and learn to love people telling their stories. And that is what I see is still lacking, right? We have websites. We have a ton of copy. We have a lot of information for people to read, but people don't read, right? At all. And because of that, video, that's what makes video marketing the strongest marketing tool you can use, hence why we're talking about social media marketing. So video is key, right? Some will say video is king, content is queen, or vice versa. But we are not using video. You should have videos on your website that, like she's saying, talking about your purpose, why you do what you do, how you do what you do. If you have an amazing facility, we should be seeing videos that shows this state-of-the-art facility. Come down, check us out, come do a site tour. Meet the leaders. We want to meet the leaders. We want to know what your role is, why you're passionate and believe in yourself, and why you started this company. I see a lot of times on social media, people are asking, they're begging, they're spamming, and people, like she said, you don't want us to sit up here and spam y'all all afternoon. And that's the same thing that's happening on social media because we're just so anxious to get it, which is always the goal. But we have to remember that education and value is so important, and it's gonna take us a long way. It's just like when we meet people in person and we start to talking and we get to, your outfit is cute, look at your shoes, where'd you get that from? Then I learned that she's a fashionista and she actually makes Temu ads and she gets paid on the side and, all these things. But that's because we're conversating. That can happen on social media too. So a thing that you want to do versus don't is engage. Don't ghost. Don't post and then go about your day. If you do, make sure you come back. You see who commented, say thank you. Go check out their page. Go see what they're posting. Comment. Ooh, this is cool. I need to look into this. Or, ooh, I like that outfit, Tani. Can you make my size? That's engaging. Tani's gonna come back and say, yeah, girl, what's your size? Right? But that's engagement. And that's what people want. If we all sat in this room right now and we never engaged with each other, this would be a very poor conference. Same thing online. We have to transfer those same people skills in the digital world. Don't think that people are not paying attention, because they are. They see your post. They may not say they see it. They may not even comment or share. But it's okay, because guess what? It's the awareness. You keep posting, like she said, keep trying and trying. Someone's gonna say, dang, Tani's so consistent over there. Maybe I do need to go check her out. And I'll shop with her when next time I need an outfit versus running to the store. Let me go stop into her store, because she keeps posting all these amazing pictures and it looks like the studio has got it going on. But it's awareness. So when you do come at a time when you need an outfit, I'm gonna think, oh, you know what, let me go over here and Cedar Hill and check her out really quick. But it's because of the consistency. So the storytelling is so key, guys. If you can at least put one video up, if you can task yourself, if you don't have any video on your website, put it on your website, have an about you, about us video so that we can learn about you when we go to the website. So all that copy that's there should be able to see and hear and watch in a video. That's my 2 cents for y'all today.
Can I add something real quick? I
Yes.
think it's super important that a lot of us don't think about is branding. It's all about perception. So I always like to tell my clients, think of your brand, which is your business, as your driver's license. When someone looks at you on Facebook or Instagram, what do you want them to know about you? All that information should be shown, whether it's on Instagram, your website, LinkedIn, whatever. You want people to know what you're about. And if we have to dig and dig and dig, you're gonna lose interest very, very fast, especially with the younger generation. Y'all know how we are with our iPads or phones. If I don't see what I need to see, I'm gone. Yes. So think of it that way. And I know I can't talk, and don't look at my website because it's so crazy right now. But what does it do what I say, not what I do? But the other thing too is, I lost my train of thought. But yes, think of it as a driver's license. If we look at restaurants, that's the thing. If we look at restaurants on Yelp, if we look up hotels and things to go, and you want to see certain information, think of the information that somebody would want to see from you. Because if it's lacking, no one's going to book you or no one's going to sign up. So
Let's give a big round of applause to thank our entire panel. Lots of great information. I feel like we all need to run to our social media and do better. Thank you again. And we're going to transition. Thank you, panelists.